guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a wear test and review on the very new Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. So this claims to be a smoothing foundation that firms, hydrates, evens out skin, and brightens skin as well. This did retail for $39. I did purchase this at my local Sephora. It comes in 23 shades, which is, you guys know Makeup Forever has always been one to do like the big shade range for forever, which is great. I do quickly want to touch a little bit on the claims of this foundation because that's of course very important. So it is a liquid formulation, it's a satin finish, it is supposed to be great for normal to dry skin, and it's supposed to last for up to 24 hours. The highlighted ingredients are ginseng, which supports natural collagen, Camellia japonica to help support skin's natural glow, mondo grass, which helps support the skin's protective barrier. The first thing I want to go ahead and do before I start with foundation is take my Kokie Cosmetics blurring primer. You guys know that I love this stuff and I really love using it in my cheek area because I feel like it does a good job of kind of like blurring out some of this texture that I have here. Not completely, obviously, but I just feel like it does make a little bit more of a difference. Okay, so the primer is now on our face. So you guys know the drill. I always like to do half of my face with a sponge and the other half with a brush. Okay, so I'm gonna be taking the foundation. I did purchase this in the shade Y4 or 5. This is the typical shade that I tend to go towards. And it also was my perfect match when I matched it on the shade finder on Sephora's app. But I feel like it may be a little bit too orangey for me right now because I don't have a tan. I'm very pale. So let's go ahead and start on this side. And we're just gonna dot it. This texture is runny and it feels very, very hydrating and lightweight. The coverage of this foundation is supposed to be a light coverage, so we'll see how this does. I'm taking my e.l.f. sponge. So because it does claim to be a light coverage, I am not going in with high expectations of this covering my redness completely. But I have to say, just first impression, that covered a good amount of the redness for a light coverage. Typically with light coverage, I'm expecting very sheer, but I mean, that's pretty good. And you guys also know that I typically am somebody that prefers to use a brush when it comes to these light coverage products. But this actually is covering really well. And I have to say, I like how it's making my skin look. Obviously you can see the texture because I have rosacea and texturized skin, but I love the fact that it just looks healthy, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't look like there's a layer product on top. And I feel like for every day, this is the type of cover that I would want. Something that covers but doesn't cover like to an extreme where I'm like, okay, I look like I'm going out. And I think that's definitely what I'm getting from this. I mean, it's a pretty good color and I feel like the match is not bad. It is a little bit darker than what my neck is, but you guys have to understand it's winter right now and we are not getting much sun. I mean, today's the first day that it's sunny in a few days, and I mean, this is like the lightest that I typically get. So I think during the spring, once I start picking up a tan, this will be like A1. But I do want to go with just a little bit more right here in this cheek area because you guys know that's kind of where it gets red, but you can leave it like this and you'll be good to go. So you can kind of see where I stand with it. I would say if you are somebody that suffers from redness or things that they want to cover, I would probably go in with a little bit more coverage on here if you want to. And you can see how it does kind of give you a glowy consistency right away, which I'm not minding because of the dryness that my cheeks have been facing. For me, as long as it doesn't look heavy or cakey, I'm like, yes. It's a little bit different than the original Makeup Forever foundation, the Ultra HD. I feel like that one's definitely more full coverage. But I kind of like how this feels better, to be honest. So now we're gonna go ahead and go in with our brush, and I'm gonna be taking my heart-shaped brush by IT Cosmetics, and I'm just gonna begin targeting the cheek, and we're just gonna press it in. I feel like when you first apply it, something I'm noticing now that I'm applying this while I'm seeing this kind of set, it looks a little more orange. Like, do you guys notice that? I feel like this side is looking orangey, but I feel like once it sets to like this finish. And I kind of brought it down my neck a little bit on this side just so you guys can kind of see how it compares to my natural color. You guys can see I feel like I got more fuller coverage results with the brush than with a sponge, which is totally expected because a sponge does absorb a lot of that product. But I do feel like it just depends on what type of person you are. If you like more so of a natural finish, then just stick to your sponge. If you like so more of a full coverage finish, then stick to a brush. Only thing that I'm noticing with this foundation is that I feel like in the nose area, it's kind of sheared out a little bit. I don't know why. Everywhere it applies really well, but I do have to say, I feel like when I go in with a brush, maybe it's the bristles that kind of make things separate on the nose area, specifically because it is smaller, as opposed to when I use a sponge, I feel like it really targets it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just apply a little bit more product. I think I went in with too much, but we'll have to see. I just feel like the nose area is applied so much better and more full coverage with a sponge. That is the face covered with the Makeup Forever Reboot foundation. So far it's looking very nice, very skin-like. I do feel like now seeing this area set nicely, you can see that radiance peek through. It's like a healthy skin-like glow, but we'll have to continue seeing how this does. I'm gonna finish off the rest of my makeup and then I'm gonna come back and give you guys my first impressions. Okay guys, so I am back right now. It is 12:52. I'm ready to talk about the foundation. Right before I talk about the foundation, I do quickly want to say all the details on this face will be listed down below in my description box. Only concern I have is that, I mean, obviously we know that the color is a little tiny bit off to my neck because we're in winter right now. The shade is a little bit darker, but typically this is what I go for a Makeup Forever match is Y405. So that's just something to note, but it'll be more so my spring to summer shade. But I think everything looks really nice. I really like how the foundation went on, to be completely honest. I was really looking up close to see if anything was really clinging onto my skin, especially in the cheek areas. And I didn't see any of that issue, which is always fantastic. I went ahead and applied some concealer on the under eye and I set it with some powder. I used my Kylie Cosmetics setting powder for that in beige. So I baked those areas. And then I applied a little bit of powder in other areas of the face where I tend to get oily. So like my smile lines, my nose area, and then a little tiny bit right here in this middle section. But everywhere else, I didn't apply any powder because I didn't feel like my face needed. Now, because this is more so geared towards dry to normal skin, I'm really curious to see how this is gonna hold up on somebody that has currently combination skin. Tends to be more so on the oily side when I don't have these flare-ups. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do now is leave, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So make sure you stay tuned for the next. It is 7:10 p.m. and it's been a long day. I've been out all day, so I didn't have time to film this little check-in until now. But I just wanted to come on here to tell you guys that the makeup is looking decent. You can see I'm definitely picking up some dew. It doesn't look super like intense, but I mean, you can definitely see that I'm a little bit shiny, which I'm not really shocked about because this is a hydrating foundation. So let's just continue wearing and see how this goes. I mean, you can be the judge of what your thoughts are right now. Okay guys, so I am back right now. It is 10:33 p.m. The last time you guys saw me was around 7 p.m. First things first, we've been dewy from 7 p.m. or so when you guys last saw me. Another thing I'm noticing right now is that I feel like my pores are like really enhanced for some reason. I don't know why. They're just like look really enhanced by now. The foundation is laying nicely. Like it definitely sunk into my skin, but as you guys can see, we definitely are very glowy. So if you guys have oily skin, I personally wouldn't recommend this. It's targeted to dry to normal skin. So I would say definitely for those, it'll be great. I feel like on my cheeks, it definitely sunk in well. As you guys can see, this is how you can tell that I have dry skin on my cheek area, because right here, it looks just fine. It almost looks like a soft matte. The main areas where I look very oily is right here. Like the typical areas that I get very oily in my face. So for somebody that's suffering from dryness and looking for a good foundation for them, this is good because I mean, look at this side. It looks pretty in place, not really any dew right here. Same thing over here, in place, not a lot of dew. It's mainly just in the areas where I get oily. So for oily skin people, no. And it's not claiming to be for oily skin people, So that makes sense. For dry skin people, I think you will love this. I also think that if you have very even out complexion, no texture, I think this will be so beautiful for every day. For those people that are looking for something that they can wear and not have to worry about it looking like makeup or looking like too heavy, I feel like you will love this product. But I think it's a great foundation. I think $39 honestly isn't that bad. Typically, I feel like high-end foundations are like from like $40 to like $50+ $60, but I think this $39 is like a good in between cut. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. You can find this foundation at Sephora or on Sephora's app. If you guys enjoyed watching this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I want to hear your thoughts. Have you tried this new Reboot foundation? What do you think of it? And if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. I hope you enjoyed this video enough to stick around and become a member of family here on YouTube, because I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and also make sure that you hit the notification bell so that you never miss a video, because I mean, I got you guys covered all the way through. So that being said, I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.